What if the hardest part about menopause is not menopause itself, but what if it's everything that you believed about yourself as it relates to menopause? You see, there are things that I've learned that I want to share with you that I wish someone would have told me. So I've made a list of 7 of them, and one of them completely changed my life. If you are a person who operates an employee resource group at your organization, or you simply want to know this information for yourself, this is the video for you. I'll see you on the inside. Have you ever read something after going through something and said, "Man, I wish someone would have told me about that. My life would have been so completely different had I known this information"? Well, consider me your fairy godmother. I am going to bestow upon you the 7 things that I wish I would have known as a woman leader going through menopause, and to be able to know that I can get through this beautiful stage of life with a sense of ease and joy and this knowing that everything is going to work out. You see, because a lot of times people believe that they're messed up. Oh, going through the stages is horrible. You hear all of this negative news, but you don't really know what to do with it. And that's how I would see people walking around fanning themselves. Ah, this is a horrible stage, and feeling like overwhelmed. And when I started to go through it, I was, number one, I didn't know that I was going through it, and then number 2, I didn't have anything to help me learn about the process. Well, I'm happy to share with you that we finally have some information, some great information to share, and I want to get right into it. So, I actually have written 7 brutally honest things that you need to know about menopause. And as a woman leader, I feel is because it's my job to help you as the authentic power strategist to know about this information so that you can equip yourself with it, but then also the women around you. If you are a woman leader and you are operating an employee resource group, you are the leader of that employee resource group, this information is critical for you to be able to share with people. If you are a person that mentors people, this is something you want to share with them. And it's not something that you just wait to share with them when they're actually going through menopause. It's something that you share with women who are going through premenopause, like puberty, right? When your period is starting, or when you are going through pregnancy, or you're going through perimenopause, right? So there's all these different stages of menopause. These 7 brutally honest steps are something that you're going to want to know. So I'm actually going to be reading these for you from the email that we write every single week with our Rise 53 Inner Circle. If you are interested in learning more about the Rise 53 Inner Circle, I will share more at the end. And the work that we do in helping women rise through this stage and any stage to use their authentic voice in their corporate position to feel a sense of ease and joy in their leadership. Okay, so let's get right into it. Number 1, as we said, if you've been following along, we said this before, and I'm going to say it in this one. Your brain symptoms aren't in your head, they are your head. That's what I said. I'm going to repeat. Your brain symptoms, say for instance, you're going through brain fog, or you're going through some sort of hot flashes, or you feel like you are not settled. It's hard for you to make decisions. This is not something that's going on in your head, it's in your head. And who coined that term? Dr. Lisa Mosconi. Dr. Lisa Mosconi is the author of the book, The Menopause Brain. And she spent significant amount of her research time as a PhD candidate, now working for the Wheel Institute, or the WILL, WEILL in New York City to study Alzheimer's patients and dementia. That's what she's based the majority of her research on. But until she started to realize that a number of women exhibit similarities to dementia early in their perimenopause stage. Now, I am not at all saying that women who are in perimenopause have dementia. She just simply started to see some of these similarities. And so she dug down deeper into the research and realized that upwards of 62% of women struggle with this feeling of uneasiness. Their brain does not seem to be operating at the same capacity that it was operating before they went into menopause, perimenopause, and the postmenopausal stage. In fact, she has several brain scans that will share with you how the brain changes at each stage: premenopause, perimenopause, and postmenopause. And so a lot of us women don't realize that we're operating with 30% less capacity in our brains to function at the highest level. Now, that does not say that cognitively you are deficient in your ability to be able to deliver the work that you're doing. In fact, women have competed at the same level as people who haven't been going through this, except for we just feel tired. We feel more burnt out, and we're dealing with a lot of these ancillary issues that cause us not to be able to get it done with the same amount of efficiency. Oh, we're going to get it done, but we might have to do things that are going to allow us to have other supports on the back end. So, the first brutally honest bits of information is that you're not broken. You aren't messed up. You are simply unregulated, and you probably don't know this research. So that is the number one thing that you need to know. All right. Number two, you've been in perimenopause longer than anyone told you. Oh my gosh. So let's break that down. The average woman enters perimenopause at 47. But most of us don't get a name for it until years later, and often a decade later for some of us. So, this is not a character flaw, right? But we need to know that perimenopause is the onset of this happens when you begin to lose your period. And so this is when the symptoms start to arise. This is the reason why a lot of us need to know this information way before these symptoms occur. So that's why this video should be shown to 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, right? Because when you're starting to go into it, it's important to understand that. So that's a second brutally honest fact. Number three, let's stop blaming your character for your biology and stop apologizing for a system that was never built for you. Okay. So, things like creating a double booking, I'm going to speak from my experience, missing a meeting or forgetting in mid sentence what someone's name is, the meeting you had to reschedule because you couldn't pull yourself out of bed that morning. Okay, so these are all the things that happen to people when they're going through menopause and perimenopause. And you got to be honest with yourself that this is not you. This is not your character. You aren't a person who does this regularly. You have to notch it up and go, okay, that's got to be related to that. Okay. And it's not an excuse either to miss a meeting or to do certain kinds of things in a way, but it's something to let you know that this is not related to your character. It's related to your biology. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? Okay, good. All right. So let's get into number four, which is what you're eating is either feeding or starving your renovation. So, we all know that the brain thrives on good, healthy fats. The brain is like this big, mushy marshmallow that has all of these intricate parts to it. It looks like cauliflower, but it feels like a marshmallow. But within it is all the types of circuitry that allows your body to function through synapses and brain wiring that feeds on good things that you're giving your body. And you have to know that a lot of us have adopted some pretty bad habits that aren't feeding our brain properly. And so we have to recognize things like alcohol is going to disturb your brain's function. And women, when we go through menopause, we want to drink a lot of wine, right? Or we want to drink things that make us feel better. And that is going to disallow your brain to operate at its finest time. Ultra processed foods, not drinking enough water, chronic dehydration, these are all the things that are going to contribute to the inability of your brain to function at its best. And with the lack of estrogen and progesterone, that is just a double, triple threat to your brain's ability to be able to function. So, what are you eating? What you are eating is either feeding or starving your renovation. Now, what do we need to eat? Dr. Mosconi loves the Mediterranean diet. I think that's a great way to start. It's an easy thing to say. Start taking more omega-3 fatty acids, eating more fatty fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, making certain that you are functioning through these types of methods, and omega 3s are the best to in pill form as well. The other thing that I want to share with you is really making certain that you are doing the hydration piece. Now, a lot of us think that just casually drinking a glass of water is enough. I really believe I'm a big fan of carrying a water bottle around that allows you to remind yourself to drink throughout the day, not gulping down 8 to 10 ounces of water at one particular time, but really drinking throughout the day to help your brain stay hydrated. We're 70% water, so that we should be drinking this every single day. Your brain needs it. Now, this fifth one, actually, this is our fifth one, contributes to your brain's ability to function well, but that is this: sleep is not a luxury right now, it's medicine. You might be saying, well, Diana, I can't get to sleep because you're dealing with night sweats or you're dealing with this racing going on in your brain. Well, and typically the hot flashes are waking up about 2 a.m. and they're annoying. But one of the things that I really believe is easy to implement is to use this thing called magnesium glycinate. Now, the studies are very clear about magnesium and very clear about glycinate. You know, the glycogen stores that stores to get into your body. But this is where I have to tell you, you might want to talk to a specialist to help you if you're significantly depleted in sleep, because that is one of the critical things that you need to have in order for you to be able to function well. So we have to look at sleep hygiene, how you're actually going to your sleep, right? And how you are actually, what are you doing when you wake up at that 2 a.m. mark, right? Because some of us might be moving into, reconnecting the brain to staying awake. Now, let me tell you, this has been a big shocker for a lot for me, and for my husband would probably laugh at me saying this, but I hated sleeping when it was cold. In fact, that was one of the big things that caused some significant issues for us when we would talk about sleep. But now, because I know better, I do better. I learned that it's better to sleep in a room that's colder and all lights out, darkness. There is so much research on sleep, and women, as we're going through this menopausal stage, we need to understand the research as it relates to sleep. And if I would say the most important thing for us to work on is sleep hygiene, is maybe even getting the phones, take them out of our rooms. Take the phone, put it upside down, turn it off. so that it's not distracting you, because some of us are waking up in the middle of the night, picking up our phones and going through social media. That's like the death of us, right? To be able to have that. So one brutally honest fact is for you to be able to get the sleep. Number 6, and here it is: stop competing with who you were at 42, 35, 30, or 25. I know this is a hard one. Okay. This is a hard one, honey, because the version of you that ran on 5 hours of sleep, remembered everything and had unending energy and could stay awake to midnight, get up at 4 a.m., we need to retire her, because she's not going to be able to get you through this stage of leadership in your life. That those days are gone. Why? Because when we know better, we do better, and our biology says that that's not possible. Right? It was possible when we had estrogen and progesterone. Even though it wasn't good for us, it was allowed for a deeper possibility, right? Even measuring yourself to the standards of the way you look, right? At this particular stage, our collagen stores are depleted. So let me give you an example of this. When I was pregnant and after delivering our children, I was able to lose weight, get the muscle that I needed, and my skin went back to a level of tautness, T-A-U, tautness meaning tighter. Now I'm in this stage of life. My stomach doesn't necessarily pull back the way that it used to. That's simply related to collagen. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that don't have muscle there. What do I want to do about that? Right? Yeah, I can slap on and lather on a whole bunch of abs of steel, which is this solution that's supposed to help your skin pull back and get tight. Yeah, I can lather that up all day long. But the fact is that my collagen stores are not as efficient as they used to be. Think about that. Now, you could probably sit here and list out a number of things that you might be comparing yourself to your 42-year-old self. And personally, as a person who's been a college athlete, I've been an athlete majority of my life. It's completely unfair for me as a 58-year woman to compare myself to my 20-year-old self. It's just not even fair. So if we can do ourselves a favor and not compare ourselves to that version of ourselves and start to think about this new version of our new and improved version of ourselves, I think we will view menopause a little bit differently. All right. Are you ready for the final one? All right. Number 7, the woman you're becoming is more powerful than the one you are grieving. So that relates to number 6, but it's a little bit different. And I want to share with you that there's a grieving process that I had to deal with the old version of myself, because I just couldn't see that there could be a better version of me. When I was going through my 2020 depression, as I was told, even though now we know it was definitely menopause related, the therapist that I was talking to said there's a version of yourself that is much better than what you're operating with right now, because it's time for you to head to another level. And I was like, what? I don't understand that. And in fact, I got so upset with her that I said, I don't want to work with her. But as I started to think it through, I was like, she's right. There is a better version of myself. What if I started learning about myself? What if I started reading more? What if I started growing and understanding what are the possibilities that I am going to achieve by being a new person? So I really believe that that is a whole section that we need to deeply explore. And these are the 7 brutally honest things I need you to know about menopause, because that no one's talking like this in the leadership streets about it. There's too much shame, there's too much embarrassment. People don't want to talk about it because, oh, well, we just want to act like we are men. And we're not men. Men don't have to go through this. They have other things they're going through, but they don't even have half of the things that we're going through. And we're trying to run businesses, and we're trying to help our families. We're trying to figure out who we are at this stage of life. It's critical that you invest the time needed to understand who you want to become. And this is an invitation. This is an invitation. It's an opportunity to be able to rise to a different level. And I want to ask you, is this something that you want? Because if it's something that you want, then this is the work that we are doing. As a lot of you know, I started the Rise Advocates Academy as an opportunity to help women negotiate better, to help them see that they are capable of doing more in their work, in their lives, than what they give themselves credit for. And I started to realize what was the gap? What was the biggest gap? Where was the lack of, I would call it the shiny bullet, the silver bullet. Like, what was it? The hook. The hook is this stage of life. There is a new way, there is a deeper possibility, and there is more that we can do if you're willing to take these 7 brutally honest steps. I would like to hear from you. Which one do you think you want to work on first? Which mindset do you want to work on? Each one of these steps has action that you can do with it. But the first stage is learning, where do you see yourself? What opportunities do you see? And instead of calling yourself broken, instead of calling yourself crazy or anything like that, start to examine yourself. There's no way that you were created for this stage of life to feel deficient, to feel depleted, to feel like you're less than. You are more than. You are not broken. You are not deficient. You're simply unregulated and not knowing what you can do to get yourself to a better position. This sound good? So we have tools for you. First, I would say take the executive biology audit. It's free. It's an opportunity for you to be able to assess where you are. And when you do it, you'll be asked some great questions. I would say give yourself about 15 minutes to go through it. You're going to be able to ask some good questions of yourself, and you're going to be able to walk through this exercise and get an assessment. And it allows you to, create a great starting point, a foundation for you to be able to learn and then grow from there. Because often a lot of us aren't aware of what is going on and we avoid it. We just, I don't want to see it. I don't want it. That means I got to do something about it. But would you rather know something now, or would you and just kind of like float, because ignorance is bliss, right? When you don't know about it and hang around people who like to talk about all their problems? Or would you actually like to be in a camp that allows you to be able to take control of yourself, to know that you have agency over your body, over your life, and over the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decades for some of you? And there's opportunity. And I want you to really take this assessment, learn from it, and then share it with your company, share it with the people in your work, give them the opportunity to learn as well. The next thing we would like for you to do is subscribe. Subscribe to this channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel and our LinkedIn Authentic Power Strategies for you to be notified when we come out with this material. And we are consistent. Every single Wednesday, we have a Authentic Power Strategies newsletter. And every single Sunday, you can join us for the Not Feeling Like Myself Sundays at 9 a.m. All of these free opportunities for you to be able to learn. And then from there, if you want to take the next step to actually engage with us further, we have services that will assist you and get you to where you want to be. All right? You feeling this? Okay, well, we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, keep rising. Be sure to take the executive biology audit and let us know how else we can serve you, how we can assist you, either in your organization or you individually. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.